Have you ever wondered why two people can experience the same event in completely different ways? One sees it as a valuable life lesson, while the other carries it as a lifelong emotional wound. Or why simply remembering an unpleasant event can make your heart race, tighten your stomach, or bring tears to your eyes, even though nothing is happening in the present moment. Robert Smith describes this principle as the PBO effect, the power of belief and observation. According to him, what matters is not only what has happened to us, but also what we believe about those experiences and where we continually direct our attention. Our minds are constantly assigning meaning to everything we experience. Those meanings influence not only our emotions, but also the way our bodies respond. What we believe shapes how we experience life. Every person carries a story about themselves. Some believe they are capable of overcoming almost anything. Others are convinced they will never be good enough. These personal stories rarely develop consciously. They are built over time through life experiences, childhood influences, and the emotions connected to those experiences. When we repeatedly focus on a particular belief, it begins influencing how we interpret the world around us. The brain naturally searches for evidence that confirms what we already believe. The longer this process continues, the stronger those beliefs become. This does not mean we create everything that happens in our lives. It means that our interpretation of events has a profound influence on how we experience them. How clear memories are more than images of the past. One fascinating aspect of the human mind is that our bodies often respond to vivid memories, almost as if they were happening in the present moment. Simply recalling a frightening experience may tighten your shoulders, increase your heart rate, or make your breathing shallow. The event itself may have ended years ago, yet your body continues responding as though it were happening right now. That is why Robert Smith often speaks about living memories, not because the memories themselves are alive, but because they continue triggering the same emotional and physical responses within our nervous system. When the meaning changes, the experience changes. One of the central ideas behind faster EFT is that the real problem is not stored in the memory itself. It is stored in the emotional meaning attached to that memory. As that meaning begins to change, our emotional responses often change as well. The memory remains, but it no longer controls us the way it once did. Many people describe remembering the same event after emotional work and noticing that for the first time they feel calm instead of overwhelmed by fear or sadness. The past is still there, but it no longer dictates the present, taking responsibility for your inner world. The PBO effect is not about denying reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It is about recognizing that we have more influence over our inner experience than we often realize. We can begin paying attention to the way we speak to ourselves. We can notice the stories we repeat every day. We can become aware of where our attention naturally goes. This is where meaningful change begins. As our inner dialogue changes, our experience of the world gradually changes with it. Small changes create lasting transformation. You do not have to transform your entire life overnight. Sometimes real change begins by simply noticing one automatic thought and consciously replacing it with a kinder, more realistic perspective. Instead of saying, "I never do anything right," you might begin saying, "This situation was difficult, but I can learn from it." It may seem like a small shift, yet these small changes gradually reshape the way we think and feel. It is equally important to create space for rest, emotional awareness, and activities that nourish your well-being. The more often we strengthen healthy emotional patterns, the more naturally they become part of everyday life. The greatest power already exists within you. Robert Smith reminds us that the mind is not our enemy. It is an incredibly adaptable system that has spent a lifetime learning from experience. And just as it learned limiting beliefs, it can also learn healthier and more empowering ones. What we believe and what we consistently focus our attention on has a profound influence on the way we experience our lives. That is why caring for your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs is just as important as caring for your physical health. Every meaningful transformation begins within. And perhaps today is the perfect opportunity to begin creating a new story, one filled with greater peace, freedom, and joy. If you would like to explore emotional healing, personal growth, and the principles of faster EFT more deeply, you can find additional resources and ebooks that may support your journey. Enter my store.